What's up, gamers? I'm the Lights. We've got solo Scission, Root of Nightmares second encounter here for you today. We're going to be showing you that and then breaking it down after. Hopefully you stick around for that and enjoy the video. What's up, guys? We're back. Hope you guys enjoyed that little look at the VOD. We're going to break it down now, starting with the build. We were on Revenant, Stasis Hunter here for, of course, the ability to Shatterskate with the Shatter Dive fragment here. We were pairing that with Marksman's Dodge, not for any particular reason, just having the free reload every now and then is nice. I just didn't really feel Gambler's Dodge was really needed here. I didn't really feel Marksman's Dodge was needed either, but it's there. We've only got one choice for melees at the moment. We went Duskfield nades just to hopefully get some freezes off and slow some targets, just make it a little easier to get around, get some good area coverage as we're going through. Pairing with Shatter Dive, we went for Grim Harvest just for the extra fragment slots, really. Touch of Winter definitely would have been fine, but Shatter Dive's really all we need. I went Whisper of Durance to make the Duskfields last longer. Went Whisper of Chains for some extra DR if I'm ever near anything frozen. Conduction, so that anything that I kill that is slowed or frozen makes a shard, of course, with Grim Harvest, and then those shards track to me for Whisper of Rhyme, which gives me an overshield. None of this really ended up coming to play too much, but we're very much centered on survivability here with the choices. Let's see, for weapons, we ran Submission with Overflow for most of it, as well as Backup Mag, just so that I can shoot as many nodes as possible with hopefully having to reload minimally. So Overflow's helping a lot with that. We can use Marksman's Dodge to top up if we ever need it. We've got Explosive Personality here with Unrelenting Autoloading Holster. Having an auto-loading Waveframe GL was really, really nice to have in this encounter, just to kind of thin out the ads every now and then. It means that I'm getting my Eager Edge eaten by some random Cabal a lot less frequently. It helps just thin the herds out a little bit so that I'm taking less damage. All around really helpful. For Barons is also an awesome one, but I just found auto-loading holster being invaluable with the way that this encounter demands that you play. Unrelenting didn't come up all too often, but the extra heals definitely could have been nice if that ever happened. And then, of course, we've got Eager Edge coming from the other half in this case. You could obviously do it with half-truths as well. That's going to be super important for crossing the gap. Eager Edge is going to be mandatory no matter what build you're doing. There are definitely ways that you can get through this challenge without mandating the use of things like Shatter Dive or Well Skating. Obviously, those are going to be the best ways to do it, but the Solar Warlock has movement options that can definitely do this pretty easily, cross the gap pretty easily and quickly, that is, without needing the Well Skate. On Titan, you can pair Strafe Jump with Lion Rampants and Eager Edge, and that'll get you across the gap quite quickly as well. So you have options. One thing you will definitely need on Hunter specifically is, I think on Solar or Void or something with a little more survivability than Stasis, you might be able to do the route quick enough that you won't run out of time at the end. But having Stasis and having the access to Shatter Dive, not having to use the little launcher thingies ever, not having the kind of sketchy, slow way that you would cross the gap normally with just Eager Edge and Triple Jump, I just really, really preferred Stasis. But if you were going to go Solar, you would have survivability from things like healing nades and whatnot. On Stasis, you don't have that, so it's incredibly important, or for me it was at least, that I had the Release Recover raid mod on. And this will make it so much easier no matter what class you're using. But when you lose the either Darkness or Light debuff or buff thing that you get from the nodes, you get a small cure as well as restoration. And the last node on each floor will kill you very often when you are first learning this challenge. And then you get this, and it doesn't happen so much anymore. I think this was like my second or third try with this mod, was the clear that I got. So yeah, definitely super important. You only need to run one if you manage to snag a class item or any single armor piece that doesn't screw over your build too bad. Then just throw this on and you'll be good to go. We're pairing that with Kinetic Siphon and Solar Siphon, just so I get some extra orbs off of my kills with Submission and Explosive Personality there. Oh, for stats, we've got high Recov, high Resil, high Discipline, mostly just because it's the armor that I had. I definitely wanted 100 Resil here. Nice high mobility is recovery is really, really nice. Mobility, not super important, just because we're running Stompies for one thing. You could definitely run other stuff. I'm sure even like I thought of after the fact, I bet Wormhusk would be pretty good here. Get you some free heals. Every dodge would probably help your survivability a little bit. But I went with Stompies, made getting around quite a bit easier. Most of your movement is entirely covered by Shatterskate. That's where you're making up most of your time, is through the Shatterskate. So it doesn't matter a whole lot if you're that fast or slow when you're just running to and from the nodes. That's not as big of a deal, but went with Stompies regardless. We've got triple resists on the chest piece. More specifically, we're doing double solar here because the barriers will absolutely cook you. If you, I mean, even with double solar resist, they'll absolutely cook you, but this is kind of my copium response to that whole situation. We've got just a bunch of healing on the boots here. And then on the class item, we have Font of Restoration to make up this extra 30 recovery. And then we've got one Outreach, one Bomber, just because you really don't need anything other than, I would say, like the resist mods and the release recover mod there. Oh, the arms, I didn't go over this. I went Impact Induction, Heavy-Handed, and I don't know what this was. I think this was bolstering in the run. Anyway, this doesn't really matter either. You just need that one raid mod and resists, I think, is all you really need. But oh yeah, I also did, just to make the barriers a little bit easier, I did Disparity here. Just any pulse. Again, like, it's just for the barriers. This is just what I had on hand. And then we did Striga, just because I was using a primary in my primary slot. I was using Submission, of course. Striga takes care of ads a lot quicker than Submission does, and I wasn't using an exotic, so that was a free swap. The reason that I wasn't using Striga the whole time was because I just find the projectiles to be really not so feeling so good to shoot the nodes with, and especially to shoot the little I don't even know, the little totems in front of you when you cross the gap or whatever. It just doesn't really feel great to shoot those things with Striga. Striga's also got a really small mag compared to Submission. Submission's constantly overflowing with Overflow, so that just felt better generally. But yeah, now let's get into the encounter and break that down. Alrighty, so here we are. We're into the encounter. Just going to start by hitting a rally here and then picking a side. We're going to go over to light side first. I find this route to be a little bit easier. So we start off, we're going to buff on 1 here, go over to 2. We're going to hit that one. You can see the Explosive Personality kind of helping me out there, keep the ads down a little bit. And now this is all about just being efficient. You see, we're going to rebuff with Dark there, cross again, go over to Dark 2. And since we're already here, we're going to rebuff on Light 1 and go over to Light 3. At which point we go back to Light 1 and rebuff, and hopefully those little Eager Edge auto tracks don't happen too terribly much. But on each subsequent trip after that first one, we're activating multiple nodes per kind of skate across, rather than like doing the entirety of the light side, for example, or anything like that. That just would not be as fast as switching back and forth like I'm doing. So you can see there, I rebuff on Dark, and now I'm going to go snag Dark 3. Go back, rebuff Dark 1, go over to Dark 4 over here. And this is a route you can kind of premeditate. It'll take some getting used to, but overall this encounter honestly is a much easier solo than the first encounter is. Especially once you get that release recover mod, you can pretty much just live through anything. I mean, you can see me here tanking all of the things like an idiot. Like, the only thing that'll ever kill you is if you decide you absolutely must use one of the little launcher thingies. Those can kill you. Screwing up a skate can definitely kill you, but the ads, once you get that mod on, are not likely to give you too much trouble. So you can see here, we finish it off. Right there, I'm buffing on 4. Or not on 4, excuse me. I'm on 3. I hit 5, and then skated across, went to 6. And now from here, the timer's gone. I can take as long as I please to clear out the remainder of these ads. So here we hit a little hot swap over to Osteo to make killing everything take a little less time, just because Osteo really puts in work. Once we're done with that, we're just gonna skate back across over to the other side. And then at this point as well, if you weren't aware, you can hit the nodes to gain the buff to be able to do damage as frequently as you want. I'm playing it really safe because I just don't want to choke this on something stupid. Like, if I'm gonna mess up the run, I would rather mess it up on, you know, doing the hard part of the encounter, not the part where I just kill ads with unlimited time. So we just take our time here. So let's skip to floor 2. So here I switch back to Submission. We're gonna go on up to floor 2. These nodes can send you all the way to the top floor or kill you. I find pulling out a sword, not even swiping with it, will even out your momentum quite a lot. And then at this point, we are doing basically the same route, just a floor up. And this is the floor that I find to be the most difficult. So there I started on Dark 1, went over to Dark 2. And then it's the same thing as the last floor. We're going to rebuff on Light 1 here, go over to Light 2, back to Dark 1. And then over to Dark 3, back to Dark 1, and then cross over to Dark 4. And again, this is just, I mean, I know this looks like a jumbled mess, but this is just an efficiency thing, right? Like, I have no choice but to go back and rebuff over here after I get Light 2. So then, obvious play from there is to hit 3, go back, hit 4. Because we're trading off here every time, minimizing the amount of times that we need to cross the gap. You essentially cut it in half by doing a route like this, as opposed to just doing, you know, how you would do it if you were running in just the 6-man of the raid. You would go 1 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 1, 1 to 4, and then I think, what would you go there? You go 4 to 2, and then to 3, and then to 5. Like, you would have to do that twice, and that's just terrible. That's a lot of crosses. So staggering it like this is definitely very, very good. So there I get my eager auto-targeting, unfortunately, but when you're that close to the little launcher thingies, as much as I hate the launcher thingies, like I for sure trust my life more to my meager shatter skating skills than I do to these broke-ass launcher things. Like, I'd rather just skate the gap, but in a case like that where waiting for eager edge to be back up again would be a 4-second loss, like, it's just faster to just hit the little launcher. And now, when you're using a skating strategy, like wall skating or shatter skating, you end up making so much time up by just doing the skates across the gap that you don't really even need to be the cleanest. You can afford to take some time to kill ads and whatnot. And now this second floor is the hardest of the 3, for sure, in my opinion. But even so, you can see, like, we're on to our last set here with barely under a minute left. So I just popped my super. Definitely could have done even more there. I even get my eager edge screwed up there, and we're just kind of chilling. So I'm going to hit this last node on dark side. I accidentally tried to rebuff on the light one, which was just a brain fart. I think I have a couple brain farts on this floor. But yeah, so that's dark done. We've got just under 30 seconds left. I just have to hit this last light node on this side, go back, rebuff, and then cross one final time. And you can see there how much work this mod puts in. Like, I'm just sitting there face tanking like 10 Cabal all standing around me. Here, I'm going to do it again. Like, it's just nuts. So at this point, we go back to, I just run the hell away, go find a nice comfy corner and swap my loadout over. I always take out the barrier champ first and foremost, because that dude is quite lethal even on normal mode. But we're just going to do that from afar. Once he's dead, we can move up, grab the buff, and then just go to work with Osteo. And then we're going to cross and do it again, and then we'll be on the final floor. All right, and we're on to the final floor here. And like I said, this one honestly is easier than the second floor. It's really not too big of an issue at all. A couple of the skates are kind of dicey. Like, there's some elevation change when you're going from the dark starting side, the side that I'm on right now, to the light starting side. You can see that. But it doesn't end up being too big a deal. But yeah, I mean, it's more of the same. Unlike the first encounter, the amount of nodes per floor doesn't increase or anything. You're just doing the same thing. The nodes are just in slightly different spots. Yeah, so you can see here, this is legit the first time I ever even got to the third floor, and I got it on my first try. Like, it's not anything crazy. I mean, like, it's soloing a raid encounter. It's pretty crazy, but as far as soloing raid encounters go, it's nothing special. Just hitting a few shatter skates, and this one I totally get lost on. I just get lucky finding this, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, after you've seen it a third time, there's not a whole lot more to talk about. That most important thing is just the routing, the way that we do the routing. It's something you can intuit pretty easily if you understand the mechanics a fair amount. It's something you can intuit just by watching the run kind of go on. So there's light done. We've got plenty of time. I think this one ends up being a little tight just due to my, you know, like I said, it's not super tight pathing. Like, you don't need to be that clean as long as you're doing the skates, because the skates just make up so much time. But even so, like, it ended up being kind of close just because I had no idea where I was going. Yeah, we got it done. We just pop super at the beginning of every floor if I have it, and then go to work with Osteo and we get it done. But yeah, that's really it for this video. Not a whole lot to it. Definitely easier than solo of the first encounter. I hope you guys enjoyed. There will be more raid challenge videos and breakdowns like this one in the future on the channel, as well as some other good stuff. So if you want to catch some of that, I definitely encourage you to subscribe. I would appreciate it a whole lot. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a good day, and thanks.